I don't think there's a chorus. It's just that. What is it? You know the Goober song?
The Goober? No, I don't know the Goofy Goober. I'm a Goofy Goober!
Yeah! 3 hours later. 4 moments later. You know the opening song?
Oh, I don't know any SpongeBob songs.
Oh my God!
I failed. Yeah. I know, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I know some of, and, do you know Riptide?
Maybe.
Like, what's the first
That one was happy.
I was scared.
Oh, Riptide, the song. I don't know why she didn't want to sing before. I think it's because there were the people like on her right, so it might have been intense. Yeah, I feel like anybody who owns a ukulele just has to play happy music.
There are many cases where you could play sad music on a ukulele.
But tell me
you never find it though.
Tell me how many people play ukulele and play it happy or play sad stuff.
I know of one artist.
Really?
Yeah, that's about it though.
What's great is also, it seems like ukulele players all know the same songs, right? You meet a ukulele player, you say Somewhere, they say Over the Rainbow. You know, it's just known. And Riptide too.
Riptide is a big, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are big ukulele songs too. So there are songs meant for that instrument.
Okay.
Which actually, can we pause this real quick?
What?
We're still in a meeting, so I just wanted to bring this up before we review anything else.
Yeah.
In terms of a set list and songs, if we were to find a song for each instrument instead of rather for a vocal performance, how do you think we could plan that out?
Okay.
So Mary obviously knows Riptide.
Uh-huh.
So we could put that down as one of the songs that she could perform.
Uh-huh. How hard would it be for us to set up that laptop over here so we could do stuff in the Haven office?
Difficult.
Okay.
Right now.
Let's just write everything down.
Yeah,
right now, we are having a meeting, and I have an agenda, and you guys should focus on what I'm trying to present.
What's the agenda?
That's supposed to be a surprise.
Okay. So you just want us to watch this because we were
correct.
We were working on doing
you can stop and discuss something, but we need to get back to my program.
Okay.
All right. So the song set listing, I like that idea, with an instrument, especially because what I was thinking about yesterday was the fact that we can really just be taking on the host roles, you know what I mean, there, and providing the freestyling that connects the people.
Right.
because musical information is captivating. You know, like if this is a good rap that's also telling you about what's gonna happen next. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole story in itself. People will get into it. You know. They're like,
I was just talking about earlier how right now we're so unorthodox in the way we freestyle, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it gives that element of surprise. When we do start doing set lists and songs, we can bring that same like unorthodox crazy feeling, but we can bring in those messages we want to give in to the next songs that are coming up that might not be as spontaneous or as freestyle-y.
Okay, what do you mean by
We're basically like when we freestyle in an indoor environment and we have people coming in giving us money for a show, right? This is just an example. The freestyle is the setup for the set list. Like we really need to set the vibe when we first freestyle or when we first all collectively get together and just make whatever. And then we can start that same performance going into different songs. Like, so we all get collectively together for one 15-minute song, right? And then after that dies down, Mary goes on and plays Riptide, like as an example. So I like that idea.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, and the like, what did you when you say we're very unorthodox and like
In terms of what we're rapping about, we're very unorthodox because that's freestyling, right? It's completely off top of the head, off top of the dome.
Why? What do you consider orthodox?
Well, if we were to make any other mediocre pop rap song, it would sound the same as any other music that's been created before. If we're truly trying to go from the root with this thing, we need to come up with different topics and different themes to rap about as well.
So you don't like how like freeform the freestyling is?
I feel like I don't want to put it in a box. Like I don't want to put it
because it sounds like you're trying to make it a box.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want it to be delivered in a way where we have to constantly talk about the same thing.
Yeah, because if we're always doing the change from, you know, this like startup to this song and then the in between to this song, if we only do it like that, then we aren't allowed to freestyle about
anything else.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want us to rap about the typical shit that rappers rap about or that singers rap about.
I get that, but now you have me confused because you said that everything was unorthodox.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that's a good thing.
Okay. Now I understand. So why bring that up like in the space of
in terms of like rhythm and actually like harmonizing with each other when we make music, I think that needs more work than the topics, but I think the topics that we're presenting into here and then
into
so so like let's say you said a line earlier in one of the videos I was watching and you were talking about the contents of the mind, right? And then the next thing you would rap about would be like a fire truck or something completely omniscient of that, like that wasn't connected. I'm saying the topics that we're presenting in these Haven performances are so important. They do need their own storyline. They do need their own sort of like box to be held in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to stay there. Do you get what I'm kind of saying?
Okay, it has to stay. Stay where? Like
I'm saying it doesn't have to stay in that like in that tone or in that theme because it's all spontaneous. It's always going to change. The feeling always has to change. Because if it stays the same, it's going to be boring. But if we can't express the main idea within those first 5 minutes of that 15-minute song, then we're just talking about nonsense.
Yeah, and that does so you're saying you felt like that switch from the contents of the mind to the fire truck was... How did you feel about that?
I like the fact that we can go with whatever.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about whatever we want. but I also feel like if we're gonna bring up stuff that's so important, it catches people's ear, and then we go off to another topic, they probably want to listen to what you were saying before rather than what you were saying after.
Okay.
So
That's very fair.
right. So it's just about like, but I do it too because it's freestyling.
Yeah.
So it's like carrying around those topics and building off of them in a song would be
And
cool.
realizing, like, in a song separate, or just realizing in the moment that you can grow it.
Both.
Okay.
Both, right? Because if we come to a spontaneous meet and I bring something that's written, but is still along the same topic of what you just said, then it works out perfectly.
Okay.
But if I come with a written piece that has nothing to do with what you just said at all, it could still work musically, it can still sound good. But in terms of the
Content.
ideas we're going to be presenting, in terms of content, it's not going to match.
It's gonna be confusing.
Right.
I've
right.
never actually thought about that in the terms of the freestyle. Like I usually just go like I my only focus for the past like little bit of being in Haven was figure out how to grow your ability to keep the voice going. Because that was the only thing I focused on, was just how do you get it to the point where you can always go
Not
instead
stop.
Exactly. Because like I was stopping a lot, and then it was grow, and now like I have that, like I can keep going. So focusing on what I'm saying seems like a logical.
It's the next step. Yeah,
Right.
It's definitely the next step
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
Okay.
That is sick. That like you, as an artist, you can grow that, and like.
It's not necessarily like what we were talking about earlier. It's not necessarily trying to find those goals. It's creating those goals for yourself. In the same way that rapping is much like business of the self. You're expressing you. There's no one else like, and if you do try and be influenced by anyone or sound like anyone, guess what? You're gonna sound like them. And there's no differentiation between the person you are and the person you're trying to be. You know,
I think that's why people fuck with like the rap that I've been putting out, is because I don't know what I'm doing. So
that's what I'm saying. The reason I love how unorthodox it is because no one's ever heard anything like it before.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you're on beat or you're off beat, you don't care. You let that voice keep going. And like that was something that I have to give admiration to you for, because most people, when they stop and they walk away. They feel embarrassed.
That's how
their tail is stuck between their legs, and even I get it like at that point, you know. So it's mainly about like focusing, where do we want to go now that we know how to do it.
Okay. And what about on your side? Where do you feel you need to grow it? Like
stage presence, movement. I see you go up there and you're everywhere, and I'm kind of like in one spot. So definitely.
And I'm your only audience.
Exactly. We do tend to rap to each other a lot, but that's because we know we can. Us going to strangers and then like trying to rap with them and then giving us funny looks, it's like no one wants to deal with that necessarily.
It's changing though. At least
exactly.
Like the last time we did it, I had like I said, the time with Mondo, I just needed to be comfortable with the group. And then now that happened, growing the comfortability with the
audience,
people.
Right, the community.
That happened way more last time, and it's gonna happen even more the next.
And another thing I want to add in getting the community to be more involved with us without us having to directly be involved with them is extra instruments. We've talked about that before, like an extra drum or extra guitar, whatever.
We the only thing is like transport.
Right. We can figure that out later. But in terms of like topics that we're talking about and that we're singing about and rapping about, I think they all go along the same themes as Tumo Slang, which is also really awesome.
I need to jump in. I did not stop you guys talking because you guys were in the middle of discussing an important thing. But I think there's a breaking point now, so I have to jump in and ask you guys to get back to.
Yes, we can definitely do that.
Okay. Yes, but please don't do it because you feel like it's time to do it. I still have a lot of things to say.
Mhm.
I will request you to do it when we're ready.
Okay.
What I want to say is that what I felt like what Jason was saying is that he want to have a lot of creativity. So it's a self-centered attitude of creativity. And what I've heard from you was more about what other people think in terms of performance. And both are correct and both are valid. And remember, father and husband heads.
Mm-hmm.
You two have to be in sync in terms of which minute is performance and which minute is freestyle creativity. There's time for each.
Right.
But you cannot do both at once. So that's my feedback to my observation. What do you think?
I that was something that like we actually you probably noticed as well when we were there. There were several moments where like you wanted to freestyle, I wanted to freestyle, and we were both like, you know what I mean? Like you would start up, I would start up, then I would stop, and you would stop. You know what I mean? Like that type. And that kind of thing, I think we'll only be able to get better at by just doing more together.
Practicing.
Yeah.
It won't make it perfect.
What happened
but
with that guy though? The studio time thing.
That's still a thing.
Okay.
But took it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cannot bring up new topics. Sorry. We need to stick with the old topic.
But it's 3 to 4. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I don't think that we can do that.
That's fine.
All right.
We need to stay with the old topic and then move on with the program. Sorry.
Yeah. It was just something relevant to what we were doing earlier.
Okay. So the next thing I want to say is that I have video proof of what I saw. And what I saw was a serious, professional discussion between two mature music guys. That's more of the reason why I did not want to say anything and interrupt that flow. That's how I display respect. Is to be aware of where I am, who I'm with, and what the fuck is going on. To know when to interrupt, when not to interrupt. Because sometimes interruption is good, sometimes it's bad. That's why most people mess it up so easily. So my question, that was a context for this question. My question is, when you guys worked together, did you have such a professional discussion for an extended amount of time, like 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah, often. Pretty much every time we meet before Haven, this is what happens.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's my comment about what I saw.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. Considering you're giving us the space to do so, and you're setting the context for us to speak with each other, and it brings to light so many different ideas that we can come up with, and it also allows us to review old ideas we have or old videos that we have. What's right, what's wrong, checks and balances, like you said. Like that's basically what we're doing right now. You set the precedent for that, so I can admire that as well.
Thank you. Very good. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Oh, yeah. That was nice. I like that.
I love Pichu's
That's
energy.
like the first ukulele song ever.
Did you know he's gay?
I did not.
Three chords,
Music guy?
the same 3 chords in the same progression.